Well, hi, everyone. We have a very, very special guest here today with London. And I want to welcome the young lady. Her name is Cotrina. And I want to let you know we're going to have a good topic today. The title of our theme of our program is it's a wonderful theme, and it's a story about Miss Cotrina. And if you look at how she's doing right now, she's doing beautiful. She looks beautiful. She's doing great. But the topic is, what is it? My Hollywood, my own. I'm in my Hollywood for myself. Hollywood. I'm in Hollywood for myself, and also that I admire myself. So, hi, Miss Katrina.
Hi, London. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm so happy to have you here today. I want to say hi to all the social medias and the radio. I'm so happy to be here with Miss Cotrina. Miss Cotrina, now we want to say that topic again. Say it the way you want to say it.
Okay. I'm gonna say I admire myself, and I'm my own celebrity. And how did I get to the point where whereas I could tell myself that how I came up with that perception of myself. Um, it started actually. I just learned to admire myself. Actually, I just woke up and had a spiritual awakening about who I who am I. I was lost for a long time, and through prayer and meditation, I discovered myself. So who I am, I was always this person, but how I learned to admire myself, how I came up with that. It's like I admire myself because I feel like I'm different from most of people around me, and I don't have a very large circle. I have a few, like my family, my relatives, and a few chosen friends. I'm very selective, but a lot of times I make the wrong choices. I get in relationship with people that don't appreciate me, and that's okay, because when people don't appreciate you, at least this is what I'm finding. When people don't appreciate me, I have learned to appreciate myself. And yeah, I appreciate myself because I admire myself because I treat I try to treat people well. If I don't treat a person well, it's not intentionally. And I admire myself because um, nobody that knows me from the age of from since my early 20s, I don't recall calling anybody out their name or disrespecting anybody. I mean, that's and the reason why nobody could I don't believe if somebody could say it, I don't remember. But
Well, Miss Katrina,
yes.
Miss Katrina, um, I want to tell everybody how I got in touch with you, and what caught my attention is because of what you're saying. There's some. First of all, folks, I want you to know that Miss Katrina is in New York, and also that I saw her on TikTok, and she was just talking about how the relationships. You were talking about how the relationships that you're in, and um, how you felt about how you were treated, and how people would brainwash you in your mind and make you feel like you were a lesser person. how you said people would tell you that you were nobody, you would never be anything. So this is what caught my eye with Miss Cotrina, because I wanted to for her to come on and inspire people. And you look at her picture, you listen to her talk. Miss Cotrina, I know you've been through quite a bit, but you have this philosophy that brought you out, this idea, this thought, what brought you out of where you were. And that's why I asked you, I said, Miss Cotrina, how did you get out of the relationships? So I wanted to start with that, because what caught my ear was you said you were in a relationship with a man that constantly told you that you wasn't going to be anybody. You also said that, did you say that he abused you?
He did. So this is how it was. I was in a relationship with a man. We were from two different worlds. It's like his relatives, his siblings. They when I would go to visit them, they would remind me, they would tell me, Cotrina, you're nothing and you're nobody. He never said that to me, but he treated me as so, whereas he did not defend me and he allowed it. I had to defend myself and I also had to defend him. So throughout that relationship, like I was saying, and my relatives, like my mom and my siblings, they never told me I was nothing and nobody, but they showed me. How they showed me, they ignored me. When I would talk to them or I would have an idea or I would, try to express myself, they, my siblings, like they won't, if I'm calling them, they won't answer the phone. Or, my sister would say, I'm not interested. So that wasn't saying it, but I was getting that feeling. And so that really, that really made me feel bad. But so far as like the people that was in a marital relationship, and that relationship, I was in that relationship when I was 14, and I stayed in it to the age of 37. And I grew up with them and I really loved them and I still love them. And but it was like we were from two different worlds. The way I grew up, like my relatives, like growing up as a young lady, I had a lot of creative ideas. I had a lot of financial creative ideas, and I would tell it to my mom and my stepfather, and they would say, well, that's not a good idea. And while I was in the relationship, I really didn't want to be with the man, but I wanted my parents' approval. And they really didn't approve of anything I did, but they did approve of my relationship with this man. And then when I would go over to his relative's house, they would invite me over to ignore me and to make me feel less than. And I would complain to my mom how they were hurting me, how I didn't want to go. But let me tell you, she would, I listened to my mom. I believed in her. She would tell me, go, Cotrina, go over there. And when you go over there, dress up. And I want you to sit there and I want you to look real nice. I mean, at the time, I wasn't aware. At the time, my mom, she liked the drama. It entertained her the way that I was hurt, and that I would go over there and I would come back complaining about how deeply they hurt me. But, as I think about it, my mom was preparing me, it say honor thy mother and thy father. She was preparing me to be emotionally strong. That was not her intention for me to take that abuse. And those people, it was what they did was they built me up to be strong for the journey that I believe that God is taking me on. Because I mean, where I want to go and how I want to be, I want to inspire others and let them know when there's a blessing. Like I'm not really all that articulate, but when I was reading the Bible, I was always intoxicated. So, but what I do know and what I hear from other people, like bless your enemies, because everything that the people in that, I don't call them my in-laws because they're not my in-laws. I'm not married to them, but the people in that marital relationship, I want to tell you, they were very, very abusive. And the mom, she's a very nice lady. I can't really say anything bad about her, but while I would go to her home, her daughters would they would, they would all plan how they were going to treat me, and I would just walk into it. I knew I was walking into it. They would plan, how they would treat me, and then the mom would leave the room, and she would allow them to treat me like that. And then the other siblings, that it were two of them that would say, there were other siblings that would sit there. They wouldn't say anything, but what I would like to say to that, they would say, well, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to you. And I would say, how I would say, and like the mom, I would say, it's like seeing a building burning and seeing people burning inside that building, but you're not calling the fire department. You're not calling for help. You're just sitting there. You are ignoring it. You're watching it. So I don't know what you call it. Are you entertained? Do you like it? Or you didn't do anything, but you didn't stop it. So that's just like watching a building burn, and you're not doing anything. And as far as the man, when I like how I started, I was very creative. Like I used to watch TV, and I used to I was in my early 20s, and this is real estate tycoon. And back in the early 80s, you could buy houses for really cheap. So I ordered these books, and I was so excited. I told my mom and my stepfather, and then they said, no, that wasn't a good idea. So, I wanted to please them. So I listened to them, and then what infuriated them was, my mom told me, go get your cosmetologist license. I went to get my cosmetologist. She said, we gonna open up a beauty shop. She gonna open up a beauty shop. Well, anyway, I guess she was taking so long. So I went and I found an abandoned building. And I went to apply for that building to get a grant and everything. How it happened was, I had to go to this place and over here in Brooklyn, New York, and these beautiful women, they helped me. I didn't have no business knowledge. I was straight up ghetto. I didn't know how to act. Only thing I knew how to do was look pretty. So these women, they taught me how to be business oriented. They taught me, how to apply for, the building. So well, anyway, I went there. They told me to write an essay. Then I had to go to the auditorium and bid on the building. And then I was like about 26, and all these people were in the auditorium. They were clapping for me. And the man, he was there with me, the man I was married to. Everybody was so proud of me. Well, anyway, it infuriated my parents. Now that I look back, it infuriated them because they told me that wouldn't work, but I went and did it anyway. So, I was getting high. I was drinking alcohol, and now I was smoking weed, and but the thing is, in the marital relationship, I was not allowed to to roll my own weed. So he was rolling it, so I'm sure he was putting things in it. Well, anyway, I started to hear the sound of my mom inside of my head talking. And I told her what she was saying, and then she said, well, I'm gonna have you committed. So I took my two sons, and we ran, because I ran with my two little boys. And then they talked the man that I was in the marital relationship, they couldn't have me, institutionalized, so they told him to do it. So remind you, when I met him, he couldn't read, but he could read now, but at the time he was not able to read. So they told him, well, anyway, they convinced him that, that if you let her go, do things, she's going to leave you. I believe that's what they told him because he was on their team. So I'm saying all this to say that the people in the marital relationship, it was so many people that were against me, and it was just me all by myself, fighting for my sanity, fighting for these people. The people in the marital relationship, they really didn't know what was going on. Their only goal was to stop me from being, having money. It's like they were a very poor family. So it's like he was the man, he had a job, and the family thought he was like wealthy. And it was just me, him, and I had two little boys, and I don't know. They wanted us to give them money every time they seen us. And then when I wouldn't, they wanted me to make him, but I didn't. I took whatever he gave me. So I couldn't make him give them anything. So they labeled me as selfish and stingy. And I believe that I was selfish and stingy, but I wasn't selfish and stingy. It was that I would give anything that I could give you, but I would not give you everything I had, because I had to have something, because I had to take care of myself and my family. So I couldn't give you my last. I can only give you what I can give you. So it was like people told me who I was. So I believe who they told me I was. My mom told me that, Cotrina, your thinking is off. You don't think right. You're mentally disturbed. Go to the doctor and get medication. And it's like all of that was a lie. But what was going on is they were preparing me for a journey. It's like whatever God has for you, nobody could take it away from you. What I see is that God is prepared. Like I have something for God is like saying to me and anybody else, I have something for you. And let these people think that they are stopping you, and I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to have it so they are the ones that's going to give it to you. It's like those people, it's like my mom. I don't think, it's like I was always who she wanted me to be. She did not like the woman that God was creating me to be. So she changed. I was who my mom wanted me to be, not who God wanted me to be. So so it's like I see it as though my mom don't have a problem with me, and those people, they don't have a problem with me. People that try to change you, their problem, my mom problem, her problems was with God. She didn't want me to be, she tried to change my identity. And as far as that marriage I was in, he wasn't with me. He was with the woman that my mother wanted me to be. I did not want to be in that marriage. I was so intoxicated the whole marriage. And I just was an obedient daughter. I was a obedient wife. I did whatever the man wanted me to do to a certain extent. It's like he used to and he used to beat me up. And it's like I feel like this. When a man has a car, he's proud. He want everybody to see it. He have jewelry. He's proud. He want everybody to see it. When I was a young lady, I was very proud of my body. So I would always wear things that showed off my body. And every summer he would make sure throughout the summer he kept me with a black eye. And I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't know that it was wrong, because growing up as a young lady, my mom, she beat me, and I felt like, she loved me, and I felt bad. that she was beating me. I felt sorry for her. I felt that I wanted to please her. I wanted to do right. I wanted to be right. So I felt like I owed her. I felt like, well, let me do whatever it is she want me to do so that I could please her. And so that's the way that is how my mind was. And so I stayed with the man, and I felt sorry for him, that he didn't believe in us and that he didn't trust me, and that he believed that he wasn't the man for me. I felt really sorry for him. So but I would not hide my body. I would not give for some reason he could not control me for showing off, my gift, the body, the curves that God blessed me with. That he could not stop. I mean, even with the black eye, I would still go out, the way I wanted to go out. And
may I ask you a question then?
Please do.
I know a lot of people might be able to listen to what you're saying. They might be in the same predicament or have been in the same predicament, and you were able to pull out of the situation. As you said, you also, you told me earlier before we came on live that you were on a lot of drugs and all that, and you were able to come out of the drugs. Can you tell us how you came out of doing drugs and how long have you been clean?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I was in the Fellowship of Alcoholic Anonymous, started in 2010, but I was on all these psychiatric medications because I thought I needed it. But anyway, what happened was I was on it for so many years, and I was on every psychiatric medication that Medicaid paid for. So I had a spiritual awakening. I said, well, you've been on every psychiatric medication, so none of them work. So why don't you get off of it? So in 2018, I stopped taking those mood stabilizers. I was looking for something to make me feel good. So I started working the program, and it said, meditate and pray. So I began to meditate, and I began to, meditation I began to get a conscious contact with God, and I became spiritually aware of everything that was going on around me. I was blind. I didn't know what was going on. So how I came off, it was time. God just told me it was in God's time. Because, and then the people in the fellowship was saying, Cotrina, you don't love yourself. And just like a whole lot of people, I was saying, something wrong with y'all. All this money I'm spending on myself, making myself look good, and y'all telling me I don't love myself. Y'all got a problem. But the thing was, I love myself, but my problem was I was feeling sorry for myself because I wanted other people to love me.
Mm.
So I didn't know how to go inside myself and embrace the God that was inside of me. And then as I started studying, the way people treat me, and a lot of times these people that I wanted to love me, they did not love themselves.
Wow.
So I discovered, I loved it myself, but I wanted other people to love me. And when I was a young girl, I used to cry to my mom and my stepfather. I used to cry, telling them, I don't have no friends. Nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. And they used to be like, don't worry about that. I cared. I wanted friends. And then my mom would tell me, one time she told me, people don't like you because of your shape, because of your body. And I said, that's the dumbest thing in the world. But, because I liked the people, and I didn't judge people, I didn't, because all of us, we all, no matter how we shape, we are creatures of God, and we are beautiful, we are divine. no matter how we shape, God don't make nobody ugly. It's the way we look at ourselves. I've been big and I've been small. And one time I was going to the gym and I was working out and I was saying, "Oh, I feel beautiful, but why do I have to be small?" I was a size 14 and I said, why I feel so beautiful like this, but society say you got to be a 10 or an 8. I was working out trying to live up to society. Mm-hmm. And I'm, and people, I mean, some of us, we're not blessed to be, a lot of us are not blessed to be who society want. I mean, the perception of what society say is perfect. But when I was a young girl, I didn't see people, their bodies. I wasn't aware of things like that. I was aware of how people treated me. That's how I got into that relationship with that young man. He was a nice boy and he treated me nice. And all the other boys, I couldn't go out the yard, and all the other boys, they would just keep going on about their business. But he was the only little boy that would stay, that would keep me company till I went in the house. So I appreciated him. But anyway, and so I learned. So when the people in that marital relationship, they was telling me I was nothing and nobody, I accepted it and I believed it. I believed that I wasn't important to nobody. I really believed that. And I was comfortable with that. So I said to myself, you know what? You are somebody. So I came up with this idea. Like, all of us want to be special and all of us want to be important. So when they told me that, I said, I'm a celebrity to myself. So I said, but I can't afford to live like celebrities. I can't afford to do the things they do. So this idea came in my head. Celebrities, they don't wear the same thing twice. So I decided that I was going to buy things, and I would buy very inexpensive things, very, very cheap things. And I would only wear them once a year, but I would wear them again the next year. And then what I didn't wear, I would donate it to, the Salvation Army. And I would walk down the street, I'm somebody. And I felt good that I could do what the celebrities did. But a lot of people in my environment, they'll go and buy, things that celebrity buys. And then they'll like the people in the marital relationship, they would wear expensive things, but they wouldn't have money. And we all want to live like a celebrity, and
well, you saw what you did is you created Cotrina's Hollywood, your own celebrity Hollywood, which I think is cool. You did what you had to do to bring yourself up and overcome all the things that you've been going through all your life. I would like to say, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you. A lot of times when people are beautiful, or they're gifted, a lot of times they don't get the support, the love, and sometimes it could be from the very closest one in the family, or it could be in a relationship. And I believe a lot of it comes from envy, and they want to keep you in a box. But if they can help control your mind, tell you can't make it, and if you believe it, then you won't make it. If you keep believing that. So, that's I think you overcame quite a lot, it sounds like to me. And as I listen to you tell the story, how you bought your clothes and, you created yourself as a celebrity. I think that's pretty cool that you were able to do that. And there's something else you said, that you admire yourself. So,
All right. So this is why I admire myself. I admire myself because I'm content. I'm grateful for my life, even though I'm striving to live a better life, I admire myself that I don't go out my way to impress people. I do not do that.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is impressed with me, I appreciate it. I'm content with my life. It's like I don't, it's like I get an income once a month and I only buy what I can afford with that income. And I don't go out trying to live an extravagant life. I admire myself because I feel good about myself without just as long as my clothes look good, I don't care who they buy. As long as my clothes look nice, I don't care. It's like I dress according to my budget. When I'm working, I buy the things that I could afford to buy. If I could afford, I like expensive things. When I'm on whatever, I live according to my budget. And like I was saying, people, we support these high-end designers, and we are proud that a lot of us, we are proud to come out and say, I can afford this expensive designer outfit. You really can't afford it. I'm proud that I can wear this. So you're saying that I'm proud that I can support, these high end design. You proud that you can spend your money to make them, for them to maintain a better lifestyle than you. I'm proud and I admire myself because even though I have been brainwashed, that's brainwash. Sometimes we fall for that. I admire myself because I'm not gonna do it. I know people that where I know people that wear expensive everything and they'll come around me and they'll be uncomfortable because I still feel good about myself in my inexpensive clothes. And it burns, I know people, it burns them up, but that's not my problem. I'm admiring myself that I don't have to support these high. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if I could afford something expensive. I do go out my way to buy an unknown designer. I go out of my way to support that unknown designer. I support because how I feel when I support somebody that's not, that's trying to get on, because I was a nobody. I'm a loner and I treat people the way I want to be treated. So when I do have the money, I'll spend a little bit more on a designer that nobody knows about because I'm not gonna support these, like a lot of people wear Gucci, and I'm glad I'm a nobody, and I hope that nobody ain't listening to me, because if people be listening to me, they'll probably assassinate me.
Well, we won't. Let's waive that.
Okay.
These views and opinions is not ours of yours, and we won't call the names, but everybody knows some of these big names.
Okay.
Something that caught my ear when you were talking to me, you were talking about, and this is true in a lot of ways. Some people do live beyond their means because they either want to have a particular look or they want to say, I own this, or I got this expensive item. And I remember you were saying sometimes if people can't even pay their bills, they know they got to pay the electric bills coming up, the rent is going to be due, but you spent your rent money and you spent your electric bill money or your food money because you wanted to get that really expensive item. And like you said, it's cool if you can buy it, get what you want, but if you start beginning to live beyond your means, so you're really taking away from yourself. I've heard of people buying some of the most expensive cars, but it was so expensive they couldn't pay for a house, and they started living out of their beautiful car because because it was so expensive, but it looked like what they want to look. So, you know, I guess if I like you have, you think common, you think sensible, I would say. You think very sensible about, it sounds like you're saying, if you get so much money, you're not gonna spend all the money up in one spot and then don't have any. But you're still gonna shop and find you some of the most beautiful clothes that you can find. You know, I saw how you dress, and your clothes look nice. You know, as you go on TikTok, you wear really nice clothes, and but like you said, you don't want to live beyond your means where you don't have money to pay your rent, to buy food, or to even live a decent life, like a basic, decent life. So I appreciate you for that. You caught my ear. And I just hope that a lot of people will be inspired by what you're saying, because a lot of people have gone through brainwashing. A lot of people have gone through emotional and mental abuse from someone like in a relationship, or even like you said, your mom. Now, God, you said your mom, your dad, your family. You know, if you were, I guess you were saying you were beautiful, you were shapely, and people just was jealous. It wasn't the fact that they hated you. They hated, maybe they didn't hate you because you did something. You can't help the way God blessed you, the way God made you. God made you beautiful. God made you think differently. So what I admire is you were able to come out of all of that and be who you are today, and sit there and talk about it. And maybe you'll help somebody else to know that they don't have to stay there. They don't have to take it. They don't have to be mentally abused. They don't have to be verbally abused, and they don't have to stay in a physically abusive relationship. And so today it looks like you're doing really well. Now I do have a question. How is your relationships now that you appear to be doing really well? You got your head on straight. You work, you take care of business. Thank God that you have been blessed to get clean off of, you go to the rehab, but you are clean. There's so many good things in this story that's just shining through. So how are you treated now? I know you say you don't really care how you're treated at this point with family, whatever, because you learn to ignore negativity on you. You learn to love yourself. That's why you say you admire yourself. And it takes a lot of strength and God to come out. Some people don't come out of that. So I want to know, how is your relationship now with your mom?
Well, London, to be totally honest with you, my mom and none of my relatives, now that I don't want to take that psychiatric medication and pretend like I'm mentally disturbed, my mom really don't want to have anything to do with me. And now that I've discovered my truth, my identity, and I'm living my life being who God. Listen, you asked me how I did things. Only thing I could tell you is that it was God, London. I can't give myself no credit. I'm sorry. I can't. God led me. It was the Spirit of God.
Amen.
That's all I could tell you. I cannot give Cotrina no credit. So, and like now that I'm who I am, my relatives, my siblings, it's like it's my fault. I didn't know any better. I used to always complain how my mom was treating me. So they did not want to get in the drama between me and my mom. So they ignore me and they don't want to have anything to do with me. But if I was to ever get a relationship with them, I would never talk about what's going on and how my mom treated me. I didn't know any better. But God removed my relatives out of my life so that I could only hear him, so that I won't have to. I see this, what's going. I don't have nobody's opinion. I used to always ask my relatives I don't have nobody to answer to. My relationship is with God and my meditation. So I just listen to myself. So it's a blessing. At first, I was wounded when my siblings abandoned me, but they blessed me. God, my mom turned them all against me. You know, they was told Cotrina is crazy. Don't live. Of course, that's our mom. When she told me I was crazy, I believed her. When she told my siblings, we all believed her. So we're not wrong. And I love them. And then the people in the marital relationship, I love them and I care for them, but my journey is they're not meant to be in it. And you know, I wish them to best, and I hope the same thing for them that I hope for myself. But I don't, you know, they've done things to me. They tried to manipulate me and hold me down. So I tell my story because I know where I'm going, and I tell my story about how I was abused and attacked because I don't want them riding on my success. I want wherever I'm going, I don't want them coming with me. You tried to bring me down. So when you claim you know me, when you have any attack, this is going to be the attachment that you are going to have. Are you all the people that she was talking to? Because me, I believe in, I don't know if I could talk about it. God allowed people to practice and hypnotize you and work things on you because you are a child of God. God allowed things like that to happen because, and it's only going to work on you because you're working for God. And God has a plan. God showing you, God will let people do things to you, whereas they'll get so used to doing things to they'll think that, you know, they're the ones that's causing your mishap. And it's not them. God is allowing those things to happen. So when he gets you to where you going, to me, I'm saying it's because you trying to stop me from being a successful cosmetologist, a successful business person. But where I'm going, God gonna say, well, you trying to I'm gonna get her there on your account. It's gonna be you. It's you. You made it happen.
Yeah,
like
so
go ahead.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because that you were done the way you were, it just drove you to be a stronger woman. You went through it. And then another thing is you can tell somebody else about it now. You can talk about these things. And no, it's nothing wrong with talking about that because occasionally we talk about how right in the epitome of a family, control, mind control, witchcraft, voodoo, and people do that to, and it's a sad thing when you do that to your children and they came from the umbilical cord. It's really kind of hard to come from out of that sometimes. But you are proof that God, and I like the fact that as many times as you said God, and you give God the credit, how God brought you to this point. So now that you can talk about God, you can tell other people that they can be delivered. They can come out of a situation. God brought you to the realization of what was happening. I mean, like you said, only God took you off of, made you clean and making you move forward now. So I'm just really proud and excited to be talking to you, Miss Cotrina. And I thank God that you have a message for the masses, for the people all over the world that can listen to you, listen to this and watch this. And probably people are going through right now. And when they hear what you're saying, you might be turning on the light where they can learn to love themselves. Like, I'm going to go love myself now. Or maybe they can understand that it's not me. I'm not crazy. I'm not this. But why would people tell you these things to you so they can brainwash you or so they can control your mind because they want to keep you down. They want to bring you low self-esteem because they don't want you to be successful. But all you can say is look at you now. And you have the experience, so you know what you're talking about. and you can tell others, and perhaps maybe a light will come on, and they will say, wow, I see that Miss Cotrina made it. Miss Cotrina is talking about how she came out, how God came into her life. And perhaps people, for what you're saying, it'll help people maybe even turn to God. Because he's the only one, like you said, I'm listening to you. That's some rough situations for a long period of time. And only God can pull you out, bring you out, deliver you, and then give you the kind of mind that you have now, which you already, like you said, you always had a special way of thinking. You always have been different in a good way. You always have been, Lord bless you, to be beautiful. And all those years, people were trying to come in and tear it down, tear you down. And what it does is if they can get to your mind and break your mind down, it does control everything other part of your life, if your mind can be broken. So congratulations that God has brought you to this point where you can bless the world. And it's just really a great big testimony about your life. So is there anything else you'd like to say? Because I like to call we can come back to some things that I like for us to do that you said we might be able to do in the future. But is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yes, I would like to say that how I found God, when I was looking for God, I was high. So I was looking for God. I was looking for God in the church. I was looking for God in other people, how they interpreted God. So I went inside myself with the knowledge that the church gave me. And I found God. The church teaches, our religion teaches us I found God inside of me. I go, we go to whatever temple, church to learn about God and learn how to get in contact with God. My mistake was looking at other people's God. And I wasn't using, when I was going, I was looking for him in the church, and I wasn't paying attention when the church, to go inside myself, pray to God for me, inside of me. So that would be my advice.
That's a great advice. Wow. Okay. Well, it look like, I don't know if you know that you have been ministering for all this time, but that's what you've been doing. And I appreciate you. And just thank you for accepting my invitation. I would really like to have you back. Sometimes when we both have time, we'd love to just have you back. And just God bless you in your journey. And I'm so thankful to see that God has brought you out to be free. This is what you call free. A lot of people need freedom, freedom from whatever situation that they're in. And you give God all the credit. So God, that's what people need to hear. They need to hear about God. They need to hear about pray within yourself. The spirit within yourself needs to connect with God. So you have been a great blessing today. I'm probably going to play this again and see how long we've been. We've been almost 50 minutes long. So it's been an awesome time. So now, before we go, you say now that you are you're a licensed cosmetologist, and you do all of this. You're a businesswoman as well, and God has blessed you to live your own life, and He showed you how not to be interrupted. He's blessed you now not to be interrupted in such cruel ways. So sounds like you're living a good life and a nice life, and that you're happy now.
Yes, I'm very happy. I don't have the companion because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to do God's will. And I'm not financially where I want to be, but like I said, I'm financially creative. So I got plans that are in the works right now, and I'm having fun. I'm doing what I love.
We pray that God bless you and protect you continuously, cover you all the time, and protect you from all types of things that might want to come up against you. We pray that for you and for me and all of us that's out there. We're praying for God to keep us covered. God bless you, Miss Cotrina. Now, I want to tell everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again. And Miss Cotrina, I don't want you to hang up, but I'm going to say see you later to all the social medias and the radio right now.
Okay.
But I don't want you to hang on for a minute so we can make an appointment to do some more things. Miss Cotrina is from out of where, New York?
Brooklyn, New York.
In Brooklyn, New York, all the way in Brooklyn, New York. And thank God for blessing you for you living the life. I like that. You can create your own Hollywood, and you can be a celebrity of your own, and you can admire yourself, and you can love yourself. You can make this situation happen. Look at Miss Cotrina. So thank you for tuning in. This is London. I've had a great time, Miss Cotrina. Hold on. And God bless you. I want to thank our engineer, Miss Irene, as well, is helping me run this project on all the social medias. Thank God for the opportunity to be able to do this kind of thing. This is what you call a good thing. When God blesses you to go all over globally like this, but you're doing something good, and somebody can look at it, they can leave happy, they can leave inspired, they can leave blessed, they can leave excited, they can leave like, hey, I'm getting ready to change my life. I'm going to God. I'm going to pray to God. I'm going to find God, and I'm going to change my life. You are something awesome. God bless you. God bless you, everyone. Thank you for watching.